Get out my business. Nani? Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Another episode of the Identity Booth. We are your hosts, Heero and Eric, Wakanda's first hero, and ET Facts on Instagram and TikTok and every other platform. Today, we're going to get right into this story. Now, for those of you who, again, live under a rock and are not paying attention or don't watch Fox News, and I'm sure most of you who watch us probably don't watch Fox News. Maybe some of you do. We got an interview from Tucker Carlson with this interesting creature named Matt Gaetz. And he's especially a special type of scumbag, one who preys on underage children. Allegedly. All of this is alleged. And I'm alleged. Messes around with underage children, and we just don't approve of that here on the Identity Booth. We believe that we need to look out for those who can't look out for themselves. I mean, Heero would definitely say that for sure. That's what we do over here. So we got a story we want to share with you. We got a little video of Tucker interviewing this guy, and you tell me after watching this interview if creep doesn't ooze out of the YouTubes.
The thing that you're gonna also have to take into consideration here, because we'll watch this video just to keep you guys a heads up on what's going on so far. But like this isn't for show. Like, a lot of people think it's strange when we say that, you know, the people who put out this grandstand about things that they don't want to know, or things they want to do, or things that they don't appreciate. They want to represent a ideology, but they don't live it. You always got to question them. And before you watch any of this, just keep this one fact in mind. When there was a bipartisan vote to make sex trafficking of minors a federal crime, worth felony, to increase it to the felony point, Matt Gaetz didn't vote for it. He didn't vote for it. And a lot of people thought it was strange. He was the only person who didn't vote for it. Let's find out why.
I wonder why.
Florida Republican Matt Gaetz. Now, I got to say, I was on vacation last week, but I did make a little time for this story. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz, in the midst of swirling reports of investigation and allegations of possible sex with a 17-year-old and paying for sex with other women, says, "The swamp is out to drown me." This, he writes today in a right-wing newspaper, defiantly refusing to resign. But as Punchbowl News reports, other Republicans would love nothing more than for him to do exactly that, and are taking potshots at Gaetz from the safety of off-the-record anonymity. Don't worry, report goes on to say Republicans will absolutely call for him to resign publicly if he is indicted and the charges include sex with a teenager. Melanie Zanona is a congressional reporter at Politico, where she's been helping cover this story. It's great to have you on. So there's the sort of investigation to Gaetz. There's his op-ed today, "I won't resign," and then there's his Republican colleagues. So first, let's just talk about the op-ed, which is sort of a bizarre document. What was your read on what Gaetz is doing in this op-ed?
She does. And that's just the gist to it. She has a great reporting out on it. Definitely check it out. But this is sort of like the fire career. But a lot of people are confused because, Eric, a golden rule for me and you is when you are caught up in a scandal, the golden rule when asked a question about anything regarding the scandal should be simply to shut the fuck up. Me and Eric are the biggest supporters of not digging your own grave, because this news media, especially in the era of our past president, Trump, revolves around, you could literally commit the worst crimes ever, and then the next day people will forget about it. But you will only hurt yourself if you don't shut the fuck up. And he breaks his golden rule here because he wants to defend himself, because this is also another Trumpian thing to do. Deny.
He doesn't. This is the thing. It's beyond him defending himself. These people think they're smarter than everybody else. And so they think that they're intelligent enough to get on TV, talk their way out of a situation, and everybody's just going to believe them. because you got that superhero jaw, you got your foreign knot, you got the nice cerulean freaking suit, and you got this a pimp named Slickback hairstyle, and you think you're just gonna get up here and talk your way out of it and be, as you said, really Republican and convince everybody you're not the person that they believe that you already are.
So let's find out. And let's. I want you the whole time to just look at Tucker Carlson, which is the potato face on the left. Just look at his face the whole time.
Tonight, Ted Lieu, a Democrat, is calling on me to be removed from the House Judiciary Committee. And I believe we are in an era of our politics now, Tucker, where people are smeared to try to take them out of the conversation. I'm not the only person on screen right now who's been falsely accused of a terrible sex act. You were accused of something that you did not do. And so you know what this feels like. You know the pain it can bring to your family. And you know how it just puts people on defense when you're accused of something so salacious and awful. But it did not happen. It is not true. And the fact that it is the basis of this attempt to extort my family tells a lot. And if the FBI and Department of Justice will release the tapes that they are in possession of, the American people will see what is really going on.
And before Tucker Carlson spouts out one of the biggest rebuttals, the tapes he's talking about, he's trying to conflate two different things that are happening with Matt Gaetz. I have a whole timeline written here. It's really interesting when you look at it, but basically he believes that his father believed that he was going to be extorted about some information, but it turns out that it was something that traditionally happens. It was just a scam that his father almost fell for, and it has nothing to do with what the separate FBI investigation into his sex trafficking has to do. This has strictly to do with him being like pay for play with like fake IDs and things that have to do with his homeboy named Joe and Roger Stone, which we'll talk about later. But he's trying to conflate and mix them together because on that side, he is actually in a position to defend himself until we got some more information. But now he's trying to conflate with this to make it seem as if it's not real. So those two aren't real, but just listen to how Tucker Carlson distanced himself. Mind you, this is a person who said President Trump did nothing wrong when he incited violence on the January 6th Capitol riots. This is a man who defended that guy. Listen to what he says.
You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago, and of course it was not true. I never met the person. But I do agree with you that being accused falsely is one of the worst things that can happen, and you do see it a lot. Let's go back to the investigation. You say that it was or is underway. There was an investigation. What is the basis of that investigation? What is the allegation? That's really not very clear from these news stories.
Yeah, again, I only know what I've read in the New York Times. I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there.
And this is another tactic. Tucker Carlson just distanced himself immediately. And look at this asshole immediately implicating him in something else, almost to insinuate that Tucker Carlson and his wife were there when he was potentially trafficking a minor. Like the Republican Party, this aspect of the Republican Party knows no bounds.
I brought a friend of mine, you'll remember her, and she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so I do believe that there are people at the Department of Justice who are trying to smear me, providing for flights and hotel rooms for people that you're dating who are of legal age is not a crime. And I'm just troubled that the lack of any sort of legitimate investigation into me would then convert into this extortion attempt.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly. But I would like to know who.
And let's just fast forward to the end so you can hear Tucker Carlson just kind of completely disown this fool.
It's a more interesting and complicated story than I knew from reading about it. Thank you very much.
Check this out.
Matt Gaetz interview, that was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. That story just appeared in the news a couple of hours ago. And on the certainty that there's always more than you read in the newspaper, we immediately called Matt Gaetz and asked him to come on and tell us more, which, as you saw, he did. I don't think that clarified much, but it certainly showed this is a deeply interesting story, and we'll be following it.
I just love when like things like this just backfire. I don't know, Eric. What do you make of this conversation between Tucker Carlson and Fuckboy?
See, Tucker is the biggest and loudest conservative voice anywhere on TV or YouTube. And for you to go on there and lay an egg, literally fumbled. Buddy gave you a layup to come out and take care of yourself. And then you came out there and you tried to correlate the things that you got going on in your life with what this man has already endured. No, this man has already solidified himself in the political arena. You're here to save face. All you have to do is come out and give some information that Tucker hadn't heard before. A little bit of truth with a little bit of lie. So there's plausible deniability, but you couldn't even do that. You know why? The hubris in you, with your slick back hair and your front hand not tied, and your cerulean jacket, and probably some boxer briefs that we can't see because you're sitting down. You came out here and you just peddled a bunch of foolishness, and you made yourself look worse. Like, I really don't believe that it's impossible for you to have committed these crimes. I really believe that you probably did. And now you didn't even moonwalk. You just fumbled.
And ultimately it comes down to, the investigation will tell us the truth. But like, once again,
we know the truth.
We know the truth. It's just strange because in this conversation, he told us things that no one knew. Like, for example, the fact that he has paid. So he's admitted, whether we believe the age of the person to be true, he has paid for women to dine and fly on his tab. He admitted that. He has now also admitted that he is not above, showing people or talking to people or giving people a little bit of information about himself. It's just strange the things that he's doing in an effort to free himself. He just entangles himself. But Joe Greenberg, I mentioned his name earlier, correct? Matt Gaetz tweeted some interesting things back in the day. And this is just with context, and this was from March 25th, 2021. If Elon Musk put out there, if there's ever a scandal about me, please call it Elongate. And Matt Gaetz quote tweeted that and said, deal, I want Gatesgate. And it's just like, bro, did you know something was coming out before it did? And that one could be seen as just or kind of funny. But then he says this about this random person. I don't know who the freak this is, baby Rebecca or whatever. But there's no age that you can't be sexy. And Matt Gaetz quote tweets that again. And remember, this is a sitting official, an elected official. I say we change Florida. Yeah, I say we change Florida's welcome sign to this. Like, he just endorsed someone saying someone under the age can be sexy. So it's Matt
Gaetz' favorite song by Aaliyah, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Oh, man. That's so bad. But also, this person right here, Joel Greenberg, is where the second investigation comes from. The person you're looking at right now, his name's Joel Greenberg. He used to be a tax collector for Matt Gaetz until he stole $3.5 million in taxpayer funds and paid it out and distributed it out to his friends and family members and other personal contractors. What makes this guy such a scumbag is that he also had ties to the state ID legislator, which basically gave him access to create IDs. On multiple occasions, he has made fake IDs for other people. And he had a Ponzi scheme where he basically would get paid money to make fake IDs for minors. But guess who
else are fake IDs for?
But guess what's crazy about this? They were always IDs for women. There were always IDs for travel. And guess who sent a text message asking if the IDs are ready? To Joe.
Can't fix stupid, man.
Matt Gaetz. So that story is still developing. He clearly flipped. He's already in jail. He flipped. He's the reason why Matt Gaetz is even under investigation. And a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the Biden administration. No, this investigation started back in 2019. This was under Bill Barr. 2018, sorry. This has already been in the works. It's just super sus. But if this is not enough, like say, Eric, we've given them a lot of information, but what if you're not convinced, right? What if you're not convinced?
I'm pretty convinced, but
I'm gonna give you some more.
Still skeptical.
I'm gonna give you some more
evidence.
Give
him some nuggets, bro. Just give him the work.
Matt Gaetz is photographed here in a high school. Matt Gaetz has been known to show up at high schools during their lunch hours to just take pictures, photo ops with them. Now, on its face, this isn't strange. Some school officials did ask to have extra heads up, as his presence can cause sort of a riot or a ruckus amongst the children.
It's a lot of little boys in that photo.
And I was like, you know what? This is, if Obama did this, would I think anything of it? No, but upon all the other things. But we do have a hero in this story. We do have one hero. And I want you to feast your eyes on this little girl right here. She cannot be touched. She cannot be harmed. She sees right through Matt Gaetz' slick back hair, pointy ass chin, big ass potato head. She can see through it all. And I love the fact that she's able to see through this monster. But yet again, this is another picture of this Florida Congressman, Matt Gaetz, at another high school. I want the facts to come out. Allegedly, he's into some deep shit. And we do know that
I bet he is.
The sex trafficking for a minor in Florida is punishable through life in prison. So do I think he's going to get life in prison? No. Do I hope he gets half? You goddamn right. So we'll keep up on this story. I don't know where we go from here, Eric. I don't know. What are your final thoughts on this?
Put him under the jail. The end.
Well,
let him be the little child that gets the service that only people like him get in a federal penitentiary. And I'm gonna keep it PG real quick.
I mean, for what it's worth, hey, that's our situation with this. That's how everything went down. But hey, we would love to know what your ideas and theories are on this situation. Do you think Matt Gaetz is guilty, and the reason why? Go ahead, put it in the comment section below, description below, and we love the engagement. So talk to us. But for everything else, you can find us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. The like, the share button, the subscribe button, all those buttons work on our page. Please hit them. Shout out to TikTok for coming through on my Friday thank you messages. If you want to get a thank you from me or Eric, hit us up on TikTok on Friday. You're going to get a thank you message from us. And in addition to that, you can also find us on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a Snapchat and we don't have a MySpace, but all those other channels we do have. Hit us up on those links. And we're going to be supporting the Endurance 24 Challenge, where Altenberg and Russo are going to be running 24 miles in 24 hours, and it's going to be live streamed here. Come check it out with us. Come join us on the live stream. We'll be playing games. We'll be listening to students submit their own music and their own little clips. We plan on having a good time. I plan on making it a 24-hour stream, my first ever 24-hour stream. I'll be here with you guys the whole time. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us. The link for all of this will be in the description below. And yeah.
Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end decide, slow it down and we can catch the vibe. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind, been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived, shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end decide, slow it down and we can catch the vibes.